And team, today we are going to understand what is ready API, and how to hit four requests like get, put, post, delete with the help of this ready API. So first of all, we will try to understand what this ready API is. So guys, this ready API is nothing, but it is just a paid version of a soap UI. So let's say there is a tool named as soap UI. So initially it was named or known as soap UI, but if you buy the license of it, it simply becomes a paid version, and its name changes to ready API. So do not get confused at any point of time that a new API has been built and we have to make use of these new existing APIs. So I believe this is not the case in with the, soap UI. The paid version of soap UI simply becomes the ready API. It's just the naming convention. Apart from that, there are no additional APIs you would be able to see, and it is totally a GUI based, with which will allow the users to perform these activities, these below mentioned activities, with minimum scripting. So you won't be if you are a beginner, so it won't be difficult for you to work on ready API without having any knowledge of any scripting, right? So let's quickly try to get back to it and try to understand what this ready API UI look and feel like. I'll be starting from the very scratch. I'll be starting it from the scratch, and I'll be giving a demo of how to add get, push, post and delete these requests onto your ready API, or you can say the paid version of soap UI, or you can also say the soap UI tool, so that we can get a basic idea of what it is all about, right? So allow me to quickly open up my ready API. So I have already installed the ready API. So in order to save some time, I'm just quickly opening it up over here. It actually takes around 2 minutes of time onto my current working system. And guys, this is not a paid version that I have purchased. This is just a demo version, or you can say a trial version, which I'm using it as of now. So this session will help you in understanding how to make a basic request via help of this particular tool. So once you have opened your ready API, let it get loaded properly. It is still loading. Okay, so I'll starting from the scratch. So you cannot just simply add something, and you cannot simply start adding a project over here and start adding the APIs. There is a particular procedure or set of standards that you need to follow whenever you are working this particular tool. So let me quickly try to give a very basic idea of what it is all about. So you need to just follow a particular hierarchy, and that hierarchy is nothing but it's just that you need to first create your workspace. Like in Eclipse, whenever we are doing some sort of automation, we create a particular workspace. After that workspace, you need to add particular project. Is just directory that gets added over there. And after project, you need to add your test suite. So test suite, by definition, it means that it is a collection of test cases, right? And in this particular test suite, guys, we have the capability of adding some test cases. And in those test cases, we can further add our basic test steps. So I hope I have made myself clear. First of all, we will adding a workspace. After that, we will adding a folder, and in that folder, we will adding our test suite. And in that particular test suite, we adding a test cases. So this was all about the theoretical part. Let's get back to the demo section. So let me quickly delete everything, whatever was added over here. So this is just a blank, you can say a project. Or let me quickly show you the demo of what or how to create a new workspace. Click on new workspace over here. You will be asked to enter the name of the workspace. So let's say the name of the workspace is API auto underscore a test kind of something. So this is the name of my workspace. I just need to save it to a particular location, and my workspace simply gets created, right? So once this workspace simply get created, as I told you already guys, that we simply need to add a particular project. So click over here and click on create empty project. Once you click on empty project, this project simply gets added. You can just give a particular name to this project. So let me give a meaningful name to this project. Let's say project automation via ready API, let's say, right? So this is the name of our project, and onto this particular project we can add a test suite, and after adding a test suite we can also add our test cases. But before adding that, I'll try to show you that uh, what it basically means, or let's quickly have a hands-on over here. So I can add a new test suite. So the name of the test suite is that, uh, let me show you that this is a test suite, and onto this particular test suite, what we are going to do, that we are going to add, edit, update and perform delete operation, right? So we are going to cover these many test cases over here. So this is the test suite, and inside this test suite we are going to add a test case, right? So you click on simply add test cases and just give a very meaningful name over here, so that you are able to understand what this test case is going to do. So I'm adding tc underscore 001 underscore creating student details. So what it is, I'm just going to tell you. This is the API which will create the details of a student on the server. So creating student details via making a post request, right? So this is a post request that we are making over here. Okay, so this is just the name of the test cases, right? Now you need to import the actual URL or of the API, or URI you can say, right? So what is the URI? We are going to work with this particular application, that is testingworldapi.com. Okay, so over here what is happening, that there are certain documentation is not available, but there are certain APIs that we need to hit it, right? So in order to create a resource, in order to create some student details, we can make use of this particular stuff, right? So let me quickly add it. So how to add it? Please pay very careful attention. Go to Endpoint Explorer. Since it is a post request, enter your endpoint or the URI. You can say, like over here it is http colon the testing world api.com, right? So this is the entire endpoint, and you just need to add it in the form of a create test, right? So what it basically means, I'll let you know. Just create a particular test of it and add to this particular project automation using ready API. I am not going to validate any HTTP status request. We are going to validate it in our next lecture, that I'll be quickly demoing it to you. I'm going to click on next, and it will generate something, right? So as you can see that it has itself added a particular test suite, and inside this tick column means it is a test case, and inside the test case what request we are going to hit to the server. This is what it is all about. So let me quickly move it to my test case, right? So guys, everything will make some sense after some time. This is your post request, post request. I'm just renaming it, and see, This is my test suite, this is my test case, this is my request, right? So whenever you want to create something, you need to pass the body as per the API details mentioned over here for this application. So it says that if you want to create a resource, you need to pass this particular sample JSON body, JSON format onto your body, right? So allow me to quickly add it over here, and I'm giving the name of ID is, let's say, 9000. And the first name that I am going to pass over here is, let's say, API. The middle name is like basic, and the last name is like automation, AUTOMATION. So API basic automation, and let me pass the date of birth. So there are no validations onto this particular site, guys. So 12 12, let's say 1990, right? And you just need to hit over here. Okay, so if you hit over here, what will happen that you will be getting some sort of response. So I have already hit it, and see what happened over here is that we added this particular test cases, and we added this particular API onto this test case, and in this test case we are creating student details, okay, via help of this post request. So we have created the student details, and this is the ID that got generated. API basic automation, these are my details that I entered, and this is the latest generated ID. So once you create something, you also need to validate, as a tester you need to validate that once it is created, actually it got created or not. So we can validate it with the help of a get request, right? So let me delete it. Why I am deleting every time? So that nobody gets confused at any point of time. So we have created a resource on the server, right? In the same way, if we can keep on adding, we can add multiple resources. Okay. Next thing that comes to our mind is that we can add another test case. So right click on test suite, click on new test case, and simply add test case tc underscore 002, let's say underscore get recently created student detail. Okay, onto this pop-up you need to enter the OK button, and now your test case got added over here. Okay, again, for get request you also need an endpoint, right? So everything is mentioned onto this particular website. When we go, see, this is your get request, right, by ID. Okay, so you need to pass it onto your get request. So how to do that, let me show you how it is done in ready API. Go to the endpoint explorer. It will save a lot of time the way I am telling you. Just simply try to pass this particular stuff, click on send, click on create test, and quickly add it, right? So once you add it, do not choose any assertions. We will be covering this topic onto our next lecture. So this got added, right? Again, it simply adds your entire test suite, and in the test case and your request. So just move it over here. There is another way of doing it, but I'll tell you later on. So this is your get request, right? Okay, let me delete it so that it becomes totally clear onto your mind. Okay, so these are our two test cases. This is your post request by which we have created a resource on the server, and this ID got generated. Let me copy it, and this is my get request. Okay, but as soon as you click on get request, there is a request, raw, outline, form. These are many fields that are present over here, right? So you can simply pass the ID over here, and you can simply pass the value, right? I am just passing the value over here, and let me hit send and verify the response, what is coming. Okay, so we have made use of get request. See, this is what we created onto the server, and the same thing, if we are trying to verify it via ID, we can verify that this is a request that got created, right? So this is how we can keep on adding our multiple test cases. Since we have added and we have fetch the details, let me update it as well.